What is up, everybody? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome to PCP Movie Night. It's the show where we gather every Monday night to talk about the movie of the week. And we're wrapping up Bad Movie April with Showgirls, directed by Paul Verhoeven, who you will know as the director of such classics as Starship Troopers, Total Recall, Basic Instinct, and one of the greatest films of all time, RoboCop. Showgirls came out in 1995. It was an abysmal failure, critically and commercially, but it has since garnered a legacy in many communities for many different reasons. We're going to unpack it tonight. Joining me, of course, he's not going to miss Showgirls. It's Jelani. What is up, my man?
What's up, man? I got my crystal here, and I'm wearing my Versailles shirt. I'm ready to go. It's good times.
Yeah, Versailles. I love Versailles. Speaking of loving Versailles, this man wears nothing but Versailles. It's Fable. What is up, my man?
Station. I love Versailles too, man. It's my favorite clothing brand.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get into this one. Oh yeah. Station, all right, everybody.
And we got a first timer. We're gonna be popping his cherry tonight with this movie. It is Brooks. What's up, my man?
What's up?
That's it. That's all you got.
This movie, man. There's like, I don't know, man. Like I feel like I gotta save my energy on this one.
Okay.
As you should.
All right. Let's talk about it. The movie released in September of 1995. It had a $40 to $45 million budget, according to Wikipedia. It made 37.8, but it has since made a lot of money through the video market, whether it was VHS, DVD, Blu-rays, and now 4Ks. This movie has legs. No pun intended, right? I hadn't seen this movie since it first released in the 90s. Like, I was a teenager, like anybody else. We went to the video store. Let's rent Showgirls so we can see the chick from Saved by the Bell nude, right? And I remember being like, that part of it was cool, but I didn't care about the rest of it at all. And I've always, in the back of my head, just always classified it as a really bad movie, right? And I didn't even know. I went to my buddy David's video store, Big Mix Vintage Video. Go check him out. He was telling me about this documentary called You Don't Know Me that's about the legacy of this film and how there's like a musical version of it that's performed. There's like a major fandom for this movie. It's incredibly popular in the queer community, and it's celebrated for its campiness. And of course, over the years, the director and the writer is, what's his name? It's Joe Esterhaus, who he's got so many. What movies did he did? He did so many freaking movies. And let me look it up real quick. Flashdance, that's the big one. He did Flashdance. Basic Instinct, of course, this was the follow-up of the pair to Basic Instincts. Big Shots, Hearts of Fire, Betrayed. Basically, Flashdance. Man, Flashdance, Basic Instinct, and this one, I'm seeing a pattern, man.
A little bit.
I really am. I'm seeing a pattern. Anyway, so they have since said this movie's satirical and it's got a deep thing. There was a book that was released along with it that some of the quotes from Verhoeven about the intent of this movie seem very much like he doesn't know what movie he made. But I'm going to tell you something. For a movie that I always considered was just trash and never went back to it, watching it this weekend was a really enjoyable experience. Now, I had a long weekend, and I was chilling with my lady, and, you know, we were having some nice relaxation, right? And I was like, man, I got to watch this movie. What a way to end a busy weekend. We had so much fun with it. It was ridiculous. We were laughing like mad. When I'm like a teenager, I didn't get the nuances of things like camp. I thought I actually didn't really even like John Waters films at that point in my life, right? I didn't like goofy, silly, campy things, but now I do. And I don't know if it was super intentional. And I know that Paul Verhoeven said he wanted it to be amped up because part of the whole thing about the movie was how loud and boisterous and fake and phony Vegas is, and that life and that lie that's sold there, right? So it's similar to a lot of movies that have the same plot that are about Hollywood, like All About Eve, right? So I think Robert was it Ebert? I think Ebert said it's just all about Eve with G-strings or something like that, right? So And they use that quote in like one of the releases, and Ebert gave it a really bad review. But I really liked the film on this watch. Like I really loved it. Obviously, there's lots of eye candy, right? And that's nice. But I don't just mean the bodies. I'm talking about the sets. I'm talking about the colors, the vibrant, vivid, popping colors. And maybe I was, I was on some edibles, y'all. So like it was really, really vibrant and cool. Everything looked awesome. The camera movements, the scale of it, the scope of it, I should say. And the dialogue is terrible. Like it's terrible dialogue. The performances are really, really bad. But it kind of adds a little bit of a, like I said, a campy charm to the movie. I was riveted. It's over 2 hours long when I saw that. And I was watching this shit on Tubi. So you know that added 45 minutes, right? Man, this movie breezed by, dude. It just came and went. And I was like, man, I really could have used another 10 minutes to flesh out the ending of the film, right? But man, I don't know. This movie is fucking wacky. It is weird. It is not, it's sexy, but it's not like super sexy. You know what I'm saying?
It's skanky.
Not at all.
It's
It's
yeah.
skanky.
You feel dirty after watching.
And you smell like cigarette smoke and cheap beer.
Yeah.
And I don't know though. It was nice just to be able to go into that zone and then like be like, okay, I ain't got to get a cab home, or nowadays an Uber. But back in the days you got to get a cab. Good luck. But nowadays nowadays you could just slip into this movie, come out of it, you don't smell like smoke really, and you just nice and clean. I don't know. That's a weird thing to say. Overall, though, I really enjoy the hell out of this movie. I question how much of it is intentional, and how like they say that you can't intentionally make a campy movie. It's kind of against the whole nature of what camp is, right? But you can do something like the Batman 66. They say, "Oh, we knew what we were doing." They kind of did, but I don't know. Like I don't know about this whole camp, but I don't think this is intentionally campy. I think this is like truest form, the truest, most pure form of camp.
He thought he was going to get an Oscar.
Unintentional, silly. Like I think there are elements of Purple Rain that are so fucking unintentionally stupid. You know what I'm saying? But funny as shit. I don't know. This movie's up there with it. I'm fascinated by this movie. I am. Jelani, let's throw it over to you because I'm just rambling. What do you think?
No, everything you said was valid. The Showgirls was a phenomenon. People were talking about this movie and never would go see it. Like it was killed in the box office. Nobody wanted to touch this thing. Like it got an NC-17 rating. So like you couldn't even play it in theaters. Like you gotta have like triple types of ID and your parents and you're 40. It kind of situation. It's a lot of work. So to have a film like this happen, like this absolute train wreck, like Elizabeth Berkley, you gotta applaud her, because all she wanted to do was a career change. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be known as that girl from Saved by the Bell. I'm so excited. She didn't want to be known like that. She wanted to get out there and break that mold, and she took a chance on this film to break out her career. And you thought that hey, Jess Spano, she can be, she could
be the next Sharon Stone post Basic Instinct, right?
Yeah, she thought it was going to turn into something like that. Like Verhoeven thought that this movie was going to be his Oscar opus, the way he was treating it, and the fact that it came out under such controversy and so many people just bashed that shit, it was dead on arrival. You couldn't get anybody to watch, especially in like what was this 90 something
95.
95. This is the middle like Family Values and Moral Brigades and Pat Farwell. Pat Robertson, Jimmy Falwell. Yeah, them guys. They're pushing this stuff, right? So it was kind of hard to do it. Where we live in Alabama. It was hard to do anywhere unless you were in a large city. So the fact that this movie, I don't know, I got so many thoughts on this shit, because I thought it was just a movie about tits, but it's not. It's like really fucking deep. It's like it is. You can sum this movie up in one word: sleazy. It is that. It's just, it makes your skin crawl. But at the same time, it's like a train wreck. You got to keep watching it. Like, the characters are trash. The music is generic and basic. The theme is kind of weird in certain ways because you can take it anywhere. It can go anywhere because of this movie. So I'm impressed by it. At the same time, I hate it. And at the same time, I love it. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel yet. We'll see during the conversation.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. You're right, though, man. Super controversial when it came out. I remember hearing all about it all the time. They were on the news. They were talking about how irreprehensible it was, immoral it was, and all the critics came out and bashed it. And it ruined Elizabeth Berkley's career, bro. Like, it did the exact opposite of what Basic Instinct did for Sharon Stone, bro. It was like her career, her film career was dead on arrival after that, right?
Nope.
So I agree with you, man. This movie sucks, right? Like, it's just honestly, this movie sucks.
It's bad,
but it's not. And if any element of like, I don't know, man. Like, if it's any of this, if any one of these things, the bad acting, the bad script, the weird fucking, just the weird shit that happens in this fucking movie, it was weird. The way it happens, the weird lines of dialogue, if any of that is intentional, this movie's fucking genius. There should be a Criterion collection tomorrow. Yep. You know what I'm saying? With tons of extra features, man. And I watched that documentary, You Don't Know Me, and it was quite cool and fascinating and interesting. So I would recommend it. Y'all should check it out. Fable, what about you? Showgirls, what'd you think?
Well, first, it just tickles my heart that you gentlemen love this movie, or at least have a like for it. I knew you would. I love this movie. When I was a kid, when they said that this chick from Saved by the Bell was going to be naked, me and everybody in my neighborhood, all the boys at least, that's all we cared about. Like, that's all we wanted to do is watch that. And we got a lot more than just her naked, right? Like,
that we did.
In fact, what I hate blood-sucking freaks for totally works in Showgirls, man. It totally works. But yeah, no, I love this movie, and I think it's campy because that is Paul Verhoeven. If you don't think Paul Verhoeven, this is his style, this is what he does. If this was set in space instead of real life, people would have got the satire, people would have got the thing, but because it's set in a real world setting, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck is this? But look, go watch Total Recall, go watch RoboCop. It's full of one-liners. It's full of freaking like campy acting. All his movies are this way, and I gotta admit, like you, Robbie, I didn't get that until recently, right? Like that's not something that dawned on me until the last 10 years because I've seen this a few times. But yeah, man, I love this fucking movie. I think it is what Jelani said. Tons of themes in this movie. Believe it or not, I know it doesn't seem that way. There's movies that we've seen that we have like got honest trouble pulling a theme out of our ass for these movies. And with this one, I got like at least 3 or 4.
It's too many.
But yeah, no, this thing is riveting. It's like Robbie said, that I was very worried about the 2-hour runtime because you guys know me and my runtimes. Right? Like I see 2 hours and that shit already fucking gives me anxiety. And no, it blew right past, man. So from beginning to end, I was like, yeah, this is great, man. This is a underrated gem, in my opinion. I loved it.
All right. Hell yeah. Good to hear. It does have a lot of good themes, right? But sometimes those themes, I think, conflict with each other, which is also interesting.
They absolutely do.
And I get what you're saying.
The movie is a hypocrite. Like, it's the biggest hypocrite of itself.
Berkley, she's not a good person.
Not at all.
No.
You can never like her. Fuck know me. She's a way. Boy, look, just real quick aside. If I got into somebody's truck for the first time and all he asked was, can you want to sit a little closer? You can just say no thank you, or it's all right, or thank you for the ride, or whatever. I don't know. Something. But what? what she did is pull out a knife. Like, bitch, you don't know. I mean,
she was a total biatch to everybody she met, and still got everything she wanted. It was amazing.
Yeah. And she immediately, as soon as anybody did anything nice for her, immediately just lashed back out, man. Right. Like, it was so crazy.
Yeah.
Here, let me give you these French fries. Fuck these French fries.
Fuck yeah.
Now, I would say though,
sold in Dubai.
I haven't seen every Verhoeven film, but I've seen, a lot of the big ones, and I get the camp style that's kind of there, the cheesiness of it, right? The difference is, and I think it's one of the hypocritical things about the societal response, especially the moral response to it, like, is if you replace the sex and the nudity with the violence of those other movies, nobody gives a shit, right? Starship Troopers, RoboCop, Total
That's what I said. Yeah, you put this shit in space, and all of a sudden it makes sense. But you put it in a freaking the seedy underworld of show business or whatever, Showgirls shit. It's like, what the hell are we watching here? But I get it.
I would say RoboCop, which had a different screenwriter, definitely has more nuance, right? Because this is very. I mean, I don't know. There's almost like, I heard it said this seems like a John Waters script with a big budget that the filmmakers didn't quite understand was a John Waters movie or something like that. Yeah. But I don't know. It's damn fascinating. I'm very curious what Brooks, first timer, thought about Showgirls.
Well, this is a movie I definitely would have loved as like a teenager. Like, this would have been like one of my faves probably. But like watching it now, like, I think it does have a lot to it. Like, it is very much a roller coaster, because like it'll be like, it'll be making sense for a while, and then it'll just veer into some like, what? It's kind of like it's like, how the characters in Fateful Findings are like the maximum of like, like a computer wrote them. This movie is less. It's like there's a little humanity to the more humanity to the characters, but they are still very stilted. And I like, this movie is too long. I think this movie should be like an hour and a half. That's the most.
You ain't lying.
And while like, I do enjoy, like, there's a lot of nice titties in this movie. Like at a certain point, you hit the overload and you just become numb to it. Yeah. So like by the like 10th time you see titties, you're just like, oh, like you don't even think about it.
But that's the intention, Brooks. Yeah, that's the nuance.
It's like it's hitting you in the face with
he wanted you to get like a
underworld of Las Vegas.
I never knew that the moment Fable fucking turned heel and pulled a fucking Exorcist 3, it would be over Showgirls.
I told you I was gonna be Joe on this review. I told you that last week.
Wow.
Brooks, any more thoughts about Showgirls aside from being numb from breasts overexposure?
No, that's pretty much it. Like, yeah, well, I think this movie is fascinating in a way. It's kind of like it reminds me a lot of Fateful Findings in a way, in that its flaws are kind of what makes it so interesting.
Yeah,
I feel if like like you said, if certain aspects like the bad acting and like the stilted dialogue were taken out, it would probably make it less interesting actually, because it's like it seems like it's like a part of this piece of art. You can't just go back and change Michelangelo's brushstrokes. You gotta like, appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. This movie's got some characters in it. It's got some really great actors in it, playing some really weird, cartoonish, stereotypical, evil characters, but also fascinating characters to me. So I'm excited about this bit. What's a character / performance you want to highlight, Jelani? Kick us off.
Let's see. I like this character a lot. I don't know why. She was just fantastic to me. I'm picking like Lynn Tucci for she was the Mama Bazoom in the Cheetah Club.
Yeah,
she's the one that's like popping the jokes, being like the hostess and whatnot. Man, I love her. I don't know what it was. She just had like she knew what movie she was in. she did the assignment. That's how cool she was. I think like there are a lot of people like showing what Las Vegas's seedy underbelly does is it shows all facets of it. And she's a great facet. Like there's someone in Vegas right now that's like this woman, you know, and people like her. So I like that they found that this character to be in this film she's just the funniest of them all. She knows what she's in, and it's not bad. The film because of the characters. The characters make this film in a lot of different ways, and she's like one of the biggest to me. So that's
yeah. This is like Sister Act, but in a strip club. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
I hope they put that on the next release. Right there, you know.
In a strip club.
I would love that. Fable, what's a character you want to highlight for us, buddy?
I'm going to highlight Gina Gershon as the ultimate villain in this movie. She's she's
Nomi is the ultimate villain. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, Elizabeth Berkley is definitely the ultimate villain in this movie. But Gina Gershon, the way she plays, like, you know, just a catty, you know, queen of the castle kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? She does such a fantastic job cutting off Elizabeth Berkley because Elizabeth Berkley, she tries to, like, I don't know, she thinks she's the shit everywhere she goes. You know what I'm saying? And when she runs up against Gina, it's like, nah, homie. This is the queen right here. You got to learn how to respect the queen. You know what I mean? When she was sitting at her table talking to all the girls, and she was like, hey, honey, you want to do my nails now? I was like, damn, she's cold, right? And she's exactly what Elizabeth Berkley would have become had she continued on that path, because they had similar backgrounds. And that's probably why Gina took a liking to her from the very beginning. She was trying to get not only is she pretty and, you know, she's probably bisexual, she wanted to sleep with her and everything, but she also saw herself in Elizabeth Berkley's character. And I think Gina did a fantastic job putting that across, and also just being a queen bitch, man. I loved it.
Yeah, she's great in the film, man. Absolutely great. It was about halfway through the film where I realized she's doing like a fucking Southern accent. She's like Texan or something. Yeah. I just didn't even notice it at first for some reason, man. And then I don't know, maybe she did it. I don't know. It was just that her performance is great. She's beautiful. She's beautiful in the movie too. She's gorgeous. But I would say the ultimate villain is Las Vegas.
That's good. Yeah.
What about you, Brooks? What's a performance you want to highlight for us?
Well, I actually like the guy who was running the what was the club she worked at? The Cheetah.
Yeah.
The guy in charge is like, I didn't think I was gonna like him at first. He's kind of like
Al.
Yeah. Because he's an asshole. He's like he's like a sleazy guy, but like he's also he's funny, but like he's not funny. It's like you don't know when he's joking. Like, that's why I love the scene where the girl's like, is he serious? When he's like, when he tells her, like, suck my dick if you want to keep working here. He's like, you know, he just makes all these jokes, but he does it in like this completely like serious deadpan manner. So it's like, you don't know, is he taking a piss? I don't know. But yeah, and like, you know, I love that, like, you know, the whole thing with the Cheetah is like she has kind of a surrogate family thing kind of feeling, even though he is like, you know, kind of a gross guy. He does have like, you know, kind of a paternal care, you know, for her a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's so like, you know, I really like the scene where her, like him and the other lady come and like, you know, talk to her, and like, you know, after she's left, and like, you know, I thought that was kind of touching. So like, yeah, it's like he's a character that comes off like, you know, really unlikable at first, but once you kind of like, you know, you start to get him. Like, you know, he's not as bad as he seems. Like, you know, it's like he's trying to be abrasive, but, you know, in the end, like, you know, you can see past it. You know, you see how he's just kind of putting on an act a little bit.
Yeah, the best part of that scene you mentioned is after that touching moment where he looks back and goes, "Must be weird to work at a place where people don't come on you."
Must be weird not getting come on.
Yeah.
We were talking about that backstage. All right, nobody picked the one I really wanted to pick, and that's Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That hair, man.
That hair, first of all, that hair. That hair.
Like you
That
could
hair
get pussy
tells
with
you-
that hair back in the day, man.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
That hair lets you know exactly what kind of fucking dude this is. You
Yes.
know? And it's Kyle MacLachlan. He's a Hollywood treasure, right? Twin Peaks, right? We've covered, this is now the third movie in 2025 that we've covered on PCP Movie Night that has Kyle MacLachlan in it.
And two of them in bad movie month.
Yeah, in 1 month. Yeah, that being Flintstones, and then we covered Blue Velvet, right?
Yep.
This is that character's great grandson.
But I love his performance in the movie because he was interviewed and said that everybody thought that they were making a very serious movie that was going to be like a big deal and all that kind of stuff, right? But they were coached or directed by Verhoeven to overact, to over-accentuate, right? Especially, in particular, Elizabeth Berkley. She got creamed for her performance, and it was sad because Verhoeven now speaks up for it, stands up for her, but I don't think he necessarily did that at the release. I think he was just like, let's see if we can get fun and make another movie. I think Starship Troopers was next, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. But Kyle MacLachlan's so great in this movie because he does, as you watch this movie, you think, this is a good dude. He corrected her about the Versace thing, right? He's not trying to talk down to her, it seems, right? Maybe, and it seems like he's being, I don't really want this lap dance. I don't really want this. By the way, that's a crazy ass lap dance, man.
Yeah,
I might be like, you're hurting my fucking balls right now.
Let me go.
Slow up.
Yeah, what is this? What is this?
But I love his swarmy performance too, right? And then when he turns, it's so perfect. When he like sticks up, he's like, this shit ever happens again, you're out of here. And then he picks up the phone after she leaves. He's like, get back over here, you dumb shit. And the fucking set's all like demonic behind him and shit. He's like a goddamn cartoon villain. I love him in this movie. And what an aggressively interesting and entertaining sex scene that they had in that pool. Wow. Right? So that's part of the
music while it's playing. That's the weirdest music to play. While they have the weirdest sex scene ever.
And so that that kind of thing, set and setting, is part of style and structure. So let's talk about that. This movie's style is glorious. I think it's beautifully shot. Like the cinematography in the film is amazing. The colors are vivid and vibrant, and they pop off the screen. And everything about the look of the film is amazing. Like everybody, like all the naked bodies are like filmed and lit very well. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like the strip club feels sleazy, but it also has an elegance to it, if that makes sense, right? And then the grandeur of the Stardust Casino, is that what it was or whatever? Yeah. Like I loved it, and I thought it looked amazing. It moved at a quick pace. It is horribly written as far as like just character bits and scenes. There's the forced in story with the dude. Oh man, what's that dude's name? He's the dude who's trying to teach her how to dance. He meets her at the club. That's Glenn Plummer playing James, right? I hate and like his whole story. What the fuck is that? Like, what is it even?
His life is trash.
Like all of a sudden,
every job he sees her,
and she's like a dick. She's like a complete dick to him for like the 3 times they interact, and then all of a sudden they're in love, and then he very quickly gets. I'm so confused by like everything happens so fast in this movie. But it also feels like a lot of time passes. I don't know. It's weird, man. It's weird with its pace, actually, because of that. But like some characters, man, their motivations click and clash and go different. Like this dude's like, I want to do something artistic, man. You shouldn't be up there at this casino being a showgirl, her dream. You should be down here with me in this strip club doing this non-strip
doing the same bullshit.
The same bullshit.
Kind of part of it, right? It's part of the whole theme is like, what's the difference between what they're doing at the Stardust versus the Cheetah, right? Like, and that dude even says it. Like he says, at least they're honest down at the Cheetah. But I think the sets, the use of Vegas, everything that they did visually was stunning. And I think the pace is fine, but man, it is awkward with just some characters and motivations and dialogue, but it's hilariously so. So I don't know. What about you, Jelani? Style and structure. What do you think?
Bruh. Wait, I have to give an honorable mention real quick. Best tits in this movie are from the blonde girl in the audience scene where the sleazy guy with the hair, what is his name? Frick. The dude that's he's like the director of the show.
Okay.
Whatever his name is, I can't remember. He's in LA Law, and he had a bad rug on. Oh, it was terrible. I can't remember his name.
You talking about the guy who's like put some ice on him?
Yeah.
Tony guy, Moss.
Yeah,
Tony
that
Moss.
guy, that asshole.
Yeah.
So he
Rockin.
he's cool, but he does this part where he's doing the show me your tits. Well, the best tits go to the blonde girl that's beside Elizabeth Berkley on the right. Best tits in the whole movie, period. Anyway, style and structure, it's too damn long. It is too damn long. It feels like you could cut 30 minutes out of this movie, and I'd be okay with this. I'm like, yeah, we get it. She's got a dark past. And then you find her dark past. I'm like, oh, everybody's like, you're a whore, and you find out, hey, you're a whore. Surprise! You've been arrested for being a whore all this time. It's a weird kind of thing that you see coming because she's defensive about everything and all that stuff. So I think that's put together well. The sets are gorgeous. It's Las Vegas, so it's supposed to be a spectacle, and he got the spectacle down. He didn't get the story right. I think this could have been told not in an overacted campy feeling. This could actually have been told and won an Oscar if they'd done it right. And I don't know. It's just weird that I don't know. I don't know why he wanted them to overact or overreact to everything. I mean, people are like that, but not. There are nuances to what they do, and he could have put that in, and this would have been an Oscar-winning film. But it's too long, but it's beautiful, and there are tits everywhere, which isn't really that bad. It's not. I mean, it is annoying after a while,
and butts.
And
other things.
Not many good butts, though. I'm very sad to say.
There was full nudity in this.
There was full nudity.
That's just top. Yeah, some girls took off their panties.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Berkley,
the Hope girl. Yeah, they were all naked. Yeah, It was a thing. So, I mean, I wasn't there originally when I first watched this movie. I was there for the tits, to be honest. And then as I've seen it like probably 3 times. This is the 3rd time I've seen it probably, and like. It's campy, it's weird, it does its thing, but it gets out of there too. Even though on Tubi, you could have, the commercial's been kicked out of that. I could have saved myself an hour and just gotten this out of the way. Because girl goes to the big city chews her up, spits her out, and she leaves it worse than she found it. I believe. Like, because Nomi is here, damn it, I'm going into themes. Because Nomi is here, she's here to wreck everything. And she wrecks everything and leaves. And it's Vegas. What stays in Vegas, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So it is the thing. And I'm using that for my theme too. So I'm throwing that in. I'm kidding. I have more themes. There's so many.
Oh yeah. My bad. I think I zoned out there for a second.
I know you did.
I'm just kidding. Fable. What about you? Style and structure, buddy.
Oh, I'm with you guys. I think this movie has a lot of style. I think it definitely does a good job of doing the skankiness of stuff when it comes to the strip club element of it. And I think it does a fantastic job of showing you the spectacle of a Las Vegas showgirl or Las Vegas show, period, right? Like those dance sequences, those numbers, those costumes, very elaborate. I could imagine that a lot of the budget was there, right? Like trying to put together those sequences, those dance numbers and the fire and all that shit. And the people, they're all beautiful. All the women. You talking about this one of the best hits? They all were beautiful women, like from top to bottom, man. Even Gina Gershon, Jesus, I didn't know she was that hot. When she takes her first stuff, I'm like, holy shit! Forgot how many times she got naked in this movie.
She did.
It was crazy, but yeah, they did a great job. You could smell the skank, like you said. You could smell the stale beer. You could smell the double mint gum, the Victoria's Secret body spray. You could feel the glitter on these women's skin, like, you know what I'm saying?
It's stinking that room.
Fantastic job. Yeah. As far as structure, I agree with you guys. It probably could have been shorter, but not in the ways that maybe you guys are thinking. Because I think showing the spectacle of the shows and the showgirl stuff and the dance numbers is what adds to this movie. I think the boyfriend, the dancer dude, you could have cut him out of the movie.
If they just cut him out of the movie entirely, it would have like
been fine.
A lot.
Yeah, it would have been a much tighter movie because she already has her moral center.
Yeah,
and that's
she
her friend.
Chemistry.
Her homegirl, the one that took her in. That's her moral center. That's the one who keeps her grounded. And that's what they were probably maybe trying to do with Homeboy, but it just didn't work.
Maybe they were trying to like find the middle ground between the cheetah and the Stardust. Would be this dude's like artistic striptease or something.
Like he's trying to like lead her more towards his like more artsy type of like, you know, lifestyle.
But it has no bearing on the plot overall.
No,
right.
It has no bearing on the plot, really.
And it's not important. At the end of the day, like, well, first of all, he didn't do any artsy shit. He did a striptease shit too. With Nathan.
He just stole that routine from fucking Usher, dude.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
He's just trying to get laid at the end of the day, and then he goes and gets laid. And that shit was funny when he was like, "Yeah, do you love her? I don't know. We're gonna get married. He's having a baby. I'm gonna work at the store."
He seemed so damn happy, didn't he?
Yeah.
And what a weird epilogue. And then it's just like it's over. It's like after school special shit, man.
Have a good life, and it's like they're reaching out. Have a good life. Like it was just weird. So I agree.
We cut all of him out.
I agree with you that it might have been a tighter movie had it been shorter, but I did not feel that on this watch. You know, the commercials did hamper it a little bit, but I thought it went by quick for me. Maybe because I was just way more into it than I was before. So, yeah, I like the style. The structure definitely can use some help.
Hell yeah. What about you, Brooks? What you thinking about the style and structure of Showgirls?
Yeah, well, like I said, like structure-wise, like I think it's just too long. Like, but I think it, you know, the pacing on it is good. Like it doesn't feel like it gets like too boring, you know. It keeps the interest, and I like the style is like really good. Like I love his portrayal of like, you know, not just the, you know, the like, you know, you have like the seedier stuff, like the stuff at the cheetah and stuff, but then you have the stuff in like the real show, and like, you know, while, you know, there is like a sheen of difference, like really they're not that different, like, you know. And I think that's kind of what he's trying to lead into in this movie is like, you know, like this whole idea of, you know, it's kind of like, you know, the idea of high art and low art. You know, some people see things like, you know, even like comic books, they consider it like low art because, you know, it's commercial. It's, you know, for consumption, you know, but really high art's the same. It's just like, you know, it just kind of got a little hoity-toity garnish on it. And, you know, that's what I really like about the movies, because like even the stuff with like the big show, it does feel a little sleazy too. And a lot of that's because, you know, like you get to see behind the curtains as well. You know, you get to see the kind of weird fucking relationships between these people and the weird hierarchies and like, you know, all this. So yeah, like it is a very I think the style is probably one of the best aspects of this movie, because to me, it kind of felt like he was trying to do Casino, but from the perspective of a showgirl instead of like, you know, a guy running a casino. So it's kind of like, you know, it's showing like, you know, the come up and like, you know, the truth behind, you know, success and all this. So yeah, I think not too bad.
All right, man. Tits and glamour, the Showgirl story. All right, the music
both in this movie.
Yeah. The music is done by David A. Stewart, who you will know as the dude from the Eurythmics. Isn't that interesting? It's hard to find the isolated score, right? And I was trying to pay attention to it in the movie, but with all the Tubi interruptions and, just and munching on chips and shit, like it just happens. You're like, I'm trying to pay attention, but what I could find, it has some interesting bits to it. It kind of also feels like the movie, where it feels like this thing that was supposed to be like artistically crafted, but intentionally in a sleazy, bad, kind of weird way, right? And it uses some decent music, I think, especially the Prince song that they use, which I think is like 319 or something like that. But I like that. But the music didn't really super stand out to me. But the music does. There's a lot of the that Vegas goddess, all that stuff. Like it's big and the music's there. It does its job. But when it's the score, it gets like, I don't know, like Cinemax late at night kind of fucking vibes, man. And I kind of like it, I guess, but it's interesting. Jelani, what do you think about the music?
This music is as dirty as this film. It's so dirty. It is everything about it. It's just like, I don't feel like the sex scene. We go back to the sex scene in the pool. And like, that music still haunts my dreams. It's like awful. It's oh my God. But it's the weirdest, like I said before, it's the weirdest music to have to the weirdest sex scene in the movie. Or ever. Ever. Who the hell is whipping? Oh, you're killing me. Get off me. Get off me, bro. Just leave me alone. I want none of that.
And she's waterboarding herself, man.
Right? Like she's dying. What are you doing? It's weird. So that music paired with that scene kind of still bothers me, and it's just, it doesn't go there. Like it feels like none of it felt right, and that's most of the movie. So that's the one thing I don't like about this is the music for the film. It's just,
I heard it said somewhere that one critic, I think, maybe I saw it in that documentary, but somebody said this movie feels like it was written by a 13-year-old. That sex scene is like a 13-year-old's idea of what sex is, right?
Yes. Just Verhoeven's just like, whip around, just whip around. Like, what? Okay, no, that's not how that works. That's not how it goes. So,
Neil Breen was a fan of this movie. I'm telling you, he saw that sex scene and he was like, I got to do some shit like that, some weird shit.
I got to throw some papers. We got to make that shit happen.
All right, Faye, but what about you? What do you think about the music? And this movie makes that Fateful Findings movie we did feel very slow. There's at least this movie like there's always a lot of shit eye candy like all over the fucking place.
I agree with you 100%. I think the music is just there. It's okay. It's not totally noticeable, and when it is bad. But I'm gonna say it's intentionally bad. We say about Verhoeven being intentionally campy, or Neil Breen or whatever. I think the music is meant to be like a shit version of what Las Vegas showgirl music would be. I noticed it especially when they were doing the motorcycle bit, that whole dance number with the motorcycles and shit. I was like, man, this song sucks, but it's like, but it fits. This is supposed to be like, I don't know. It's like skanky. I don't know. It sucks, but it works. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. We've seen plenty of those movies recently, and then some massive failures. Like Double Dragon could have easily been one of those movies, but it's not. That's been the clunker of this whole damn bad movies. I learned doing Bad Movie Month that I only think one of those 4 movies was actually bad.
I agree.
The second I saw that bloated thing in Double Dragon that they were passing off as a villain, I was like, nah, this is terrible.
What about you, Brooks? What do you think about the music, man?
Well, I didn't notice it too much. Like, I didn't notice it every once in a while, but like this movie is like, I feel it's more of a visual. It's more a visual medium. Like, you're so busy watching that you don't really take the time to listen as much. But I think I had a couple of good songs in there. it does very much fit into the theme of like, the kind of strip club music you would hear, sort of, like, it's just the kind of music that, a girl can grind on a pole to. And, but yeah, like, I'd say it's like, it was all right, like I said, I was more watching this movie than really listening for the soundtrack.
What I love is that I know that, we're really good at what we do, I think, so pat yourself on the back, PCP crew. Excitable we are. But if you just like clipped out some of the stuff we were saying when we're talking about like the visuals of the movie and we're talking about like the cinematography and the sets and all that stuff, you could really just make it seem like we were just talking about the tits everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I just watched this movie.
It's not about tits.
It's about the visuals. Like, how many? It's crazy. Anyway, all right. Time to talk about the theme of the movie. This movie has some messages. Paul Verhoeven's trying to do something. What's he trying to do? Who cares? What does it mean to you? That's the better question. You out there in the chat, let us know. You, Jelani, kick us off.
Are you willing to sell your soul for fame and fortune? What are you willing to do? What lengths are you about to, I guess, go in order to find that fame, what you want to be? And everybody in this movie, they're horribly unlikable. Like everyone. I don't even like that girl that got attacked by the dude, by the singer. It's just, I don't know. She's just dumb. She felt naive and just, why are you in this world? You know you in this world. You need to be tougher than that. It just, I don't know. It's such a shame that each character is so unlikable, and yet they're all there for one reason, and that's like fame. They just want, every one of them. Everybody wants to be seen. Everyone wants to be everything. Like the two girls, I like the dynamic between the two showgirls that were there that hated each other. And like the one had the kids, and she was like, "Shut the fuck up!" And she said the F word.
That's so over the top.
You know what I'm saying?
Fuck up.
All that shit is just like all that happens.
Shit,
and she in the end of that story, which is it's a complete story. Like these two bitches hate each other. Their whole life is hating each other to the point where one girl just drops beads on the ground, and in a spectacle breaks that girl's knee so she can get out of there. Man,
when that happens, by the way, you would think that she just got shot and is about to die with the way that they like make it. I mean, I get it, it's a big deal in that world, but they made that dramatic as fuck. She's like, like slow motion and shit.
The way she dropped them,
it was like that scene in Platoon, man.
Yes. It's so messed up. So the fact all that happens, and everyone, and in the end, the girl like almost gets, and I bet you she's the next star after that, because she was the next one left. They're like, "We'll just pick this other girl, and she'll be the star." And she, in the end, that girl won. That's who won the fame of Showgirls, basically. And then you got Nomi, who's a horrible human. She is a horrible, like, she's the worst of everyone. Like I said,
oh yeah, she really is.
She came in and fucked everything up.
Everything.
And still left and still was fucking shit up. She found, "Give me my suitcase back." Bruh, I still wouldn't be in no car with the same guy. How you pick the same guy twice? Once when you come in, once when you get out. It's wild as fuck. This movie and it's so bad at the same time, but there's so much to look at for you to be like, okay, I get it. These people are trash. And because they're trash, they're only seeking fortune and fame. They're going to step on whoever to do it. Nomi kicks that Gina Gershon down the stairwell. It's a horrible setup. Gina Gershon wants to be famous. She wants to take this girl out and keep her fame. And it's so many aspects to look at. Each character has its own study and theme, but they're all the same trash people. Yeah. And so it comes back to wanting to be famous. What are you willing to do to go to that ultimate goal? And it's weird. It's such a weird movie that you can just draw from.
Absolutely. What about you, Fable? What do you think about theme in this movie? What's it speaking to you?
Well, like I told you guys earlier, there's a lot of movies that we watch and we like struggle to pull a theme out of it sometimes. And with this one, I got a couple of themes. I got three specifically. One, Kyle MacLachlan is probably the luckiest man on the planet Earth. I mean, while making this movie, Jesus Christ, that, you know what I'm saying? Just the amount of nudity and contact that he had with these women. I mean, this guy just must have had a ball making this movie.
Oh, it's just for work. It's just for work.
I mean, that pool scene, come on. Anyway, the second theme I got is that we're all whores. All of us. We're all whores. Robbie, you're a whore. You're a whore. Brooks,
I know.
You might not be.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe he is. Yeah, but we're all whores. But there's different levels to whores, right? Like there's different levels to the shit. And sometimes even though you're the best whore in town, right? Because she's the best whore of all time. Like the biggest, bestest whore there ever was. And it might seem good to be over here, right? In this part of town, but really, you know, her talents or what she does best should have been at the Cheetah, not at the Stardust. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then lastly, the last theme I got was just because you're a whore, you don't just let everybody call you a whore. You know what I'm saying? Like, call me I'm a classy hoe. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody who called her a whore, and she was a whore. Let's get this straight. She got pissed. Like, pissed. That's what fucked Gina Gershon's chances up of getting laid with her. Like, because she would come up like, so I told you you're a whore. She's like, bitch. Bitch, I'm not a whore. Like, yes, you are. Look what you just did with Kyle MacLachlan in the fucking pool. You're a whore. but yeah, so you know, don't let anybody just talk you into, you know, whatever. You gotta stay in grass. Say, listen, I'm a classy hoe. You know what I'm saying? Don't be just calling me a whore. That's what I got from this one.
Well, I think the theme of tonight's show is that Fable just got us demonetized. I'm sure with the amount of times that he said the word whore. But I'm all here for it because I'm a whore for that myself. What about you, Brooks? What's this movie saying to you?
Well, I think there's like a very much a kind of a message of like of home is where the heart is in this movie, because like, you know, the character, she starts out, she's got nobody, like, you know, she doesn't talk about like, you know, her family or anything like that, like, you know, she has no home. And then like when she gets to Vegas, she meets her friend, and you know, she takes her in, and now she has a home, not because, you know, she's got a roof overhead, but you know, her friend is her home. And like, you know, the people she meets at her work, they become, you know, kind of parts of her family as well. Like she builds a home here, and like, and it seems like at the end, like in the pursuit of fame, like she realizes like in order to like, you know, to achieve that kind of fame, she would have to give that home up. You know, like if she wants to be famous, she's gonna have to look the other way after what this guy did to her friend. And in the end, she's not willing to do that. So, you know, I agree, she's not a great character. She does make a lot of like, she's a very selfish, but you know, she does like in the end, she proves that she cares more about her home, her friend, than she does about, you know, becoming the top showgirl. So yeah, I think she kind of redeems herself, and like, you know, even though she does like leave at the end, she goes back off. Like she has that knowledge that, you know, she always has that home to come back to, because she made that decision that she would choose like, you know, her home and her like, you know, her friend and the people she cares about over, you know, becoming like the top showgirl.
Hell yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Brooks, that was very well thought out, very well said. I agree wholeheartedly. So take no offense in this, but when you first started talking, in my head, I went, did this motherfucker just say home is where the heart is for Showgirls? But you made it work, and I like that. I respect it. Y'all are all right about all of this stuff, right? This movie does have layers of meaning and themes and things to pick apart. You know, it to me, what I think it's doing. One of the things Paul Verhoeven says, this movie is turning a mirror to you. And there's a lot of mirrors in the movie, right? It's kind of like a thematic, like a visual thematic, right? But like, what does that mean? Okay, that means then what Fable said, we're all whores, right? Yeah. And he's showing us, I think he goes a little bit further into another level where it goes, you guys are so obsessed with like sex, right? And let's show you the real side of it. Not this glamorized. We're going to show you behind the curtain of this glamorized version of sex, right? But it's odd because the movie then has these awkward like maybe it's so fucking weird, like that sex scene in the pool. Mm-hmm. The way it's done it's kind of sexy, but it's also really dumb. It's dumb, right? Like nobody fucks like that.
No
like,
one.
Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like this ridiculous. But and at this time too, this moral authority in America about sex, right? We were talking about like if this was in space with a bunch of violence, nobody gives a shit. It's Total Recall. It's RoboCop down in Detroit or something, right? Like it's the violence nobody gives a shit about when you start playing with the nudity. But that's the secret obsessions. We have this glamorized view of romance and sex. This movie is telling us that sex is power. Sex is currency. Sex is more than just two people meeting and loving shit, like in a world like Vegas especially. It's turning a mirror on Vegas. It's turning a mirror on the sexual lives and romantic entanglements of the population, of the audience. It's turning a lens on Hollywood at like, okay, but what's wrong with this one? We're just, wait, what's wrong with it, right? As opposed to this or that. And it's playing around with that. I think it's really trying to say something about like sex, right? As currency and power, right? Like because money absolutely is power, sex is power, right? It's the trifecta, right? And it is, I think if it satires anything, I think it satires that aspect of the Hollywood system, right? Where what's the difference between this? Why can't this be high art as opposed to all that stuff on Skinamax at night, right? Yeah. So
the levels to it. The level is it's like you said.
It's a lot to feel.
The scene where Gina Gershon confronts Kyle MacLachlan, and she said, "You had sex with her or something? You effed her?" And then he was like, "Are you mad because you're jealous, or because I beat you to it?" Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that I think, in a nutshell, personifies what you're saying.
There's a lot of power dynamics that are being played up here between Gina's character, Kyle's character, Elizabeth's character. Like, there's all kinds of power dynamics going on there, and it's really interesting to see sex in the middle of it. And I think that you could really, somebody more intelligent than me could really like philosophically pull that apart and probably come up some really weird things about that. Probably, I don't know.
Yeah, because we put more emphasis on it than these people in this world, because nobody is affected by the nudity. If you think about it, we're there like Googling at all the beautiful bodies, but them in the movie, tits out, that's not a problem. Like that's just no life. Problem. Like they just walk around like that. Like nobody's really like too concerned. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that means, I think it's actually, I don't know how brilliant it is, but I don't know. We rate movies based on our experience this time that we watched it, right? Sometimes movies grow on you. Sometimes movies that you loved, you don't anymore. It's always a different experience every time you watch a movie. So think about your experience, y'all out there in the chat, watching Showgirls along with us this time. Let us know, out of 5 possible you digs, what do you rate the film? Jelani, why don't you kick us off here?
Okay. This is a mixed bag film. Like I said, I've only seen it 3 times, and it's still wild to me every time I see it. I will watch it again, and strangely enough, it's not for the tits. It's just to see how goofy these people get. It's so wild. Like I said, the black dude in this movie, I cannot stand him. He is the sore thumb of this movie. So it hurts. So it is very flawed. It is incredibly flawed. But you got to look at it from Paul Verhoeven's perspective. Like, he does everything just like this. RoboCop was this way. Starship Troopers is that way. It's just, like we've talked about numerous times. So I'm going to give it, I hate to do this, but I'm going to give it a good read. I'm going to give it a 4. Like, it is to be watched again. Like, if you watched it the first time and hated it, try to watch it again. And just let's look at it from like a perspective like it's bad. It's not so bad, it's good. It's almost there. But at the same time, people actually act like this. That's the worst part. People are actually like in a smaller way. Of course, like I said before, they have nuances, but people are this on their base level. And it shows that, and it's a good lens for it. So I think if you watch it again, you'll get a better perspective of it. And of course, tits.
All right, a 4 you digs from Jelani. What about you, Fable? What do you rate Showgirls?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Jelani, because that is exactly what Paul Verhoeven tries to do in all of his movies. Is it might be silly, it might be corny, it might be campy. Some of the deliveries might be weird, and whatever it is, the base level, like you said, this is people at their base level. Like when Homeboy was, trying to be artistic with her and the lap dance, and then his whole he couldn't help but touch her, and she's like, I got my period, and he's like, I don't give a shit.
I don't believe you.
And then he comes out, he's like, oh, she's like, I told you. It's like, come on, you know what I'm saying? That happens. So yeah, I agree. This is an underrated Paul Verhoeven gem. It's just not really, it's not as nuanced as his other movies, right? Like RoboCop, I think is his best film. That's my favorite Paul Verhoeven film. And it's also his most poignant, satirical, thematic, you know what I'm saying? That's like the best. With Total Recall and Starship Troopers as well, doing the same thing. But I still think there's something here. I think it's entertaining. And I think if anything, at least you get to see some beautiful people. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So I'm going to give this a 4 as well. I was going to say 3.5, but I think this movie grows on you. It really does, because I did not like this movie as much as I do now. And this is the Flintstones. No, it really is. It's the Flintstones. I mean, think about it. Like, she's Fred Flintstone, dude. She goes through the same fucking character arc. But anyway, yeah,
You're
4.
right.
Let's go 4.
You're right.
With Kyle MacLachlan.
It gets to your head.
Same
With Kyle
shit.
MacLachlan. Yes.
Yeah, Halle Berry.
Damn, this is the
and Gina
Flintstones.
Gershon, am I right? Barney Rubble is her friend. Like we could go off with this shit, but
That's the video essay you need to start working on, Fable.
Showgirls?
All right, we got a 4 from Jelani, 4 from Fable. What about you, Brooks? Where are you sitting?
Well, I mean, I've probably been giving this score a lot this month, but I'd probably give this one a 3. Like, I think it kind of balances out in a lot of ways. Like, I feel like if they'd cut out, like, the whole subplot with the bouncer dance instructor guy, I think I'd probably give it a 3.5 or maybe a 4. But I think that drags the movie down a good bit. That kind of pointless story arc. This is kind of it feels like it's kind of just shoved in there. But like still, it is a movie I can see myself enjoying on the rewatch. Like with like I said, the flaws kind of make the movie in a way, and that's kind of a theme with bad movies. Like you end up liking them like despite their flaws, you know, and then you start liking them because of their flaws. So yeah, this is like this movie, you know, it balances out for me. Like, you know, I don't hate it, but I don't really love it either. I kind of like it, and like I could see myself rewatching it, but it's not a movie I feel like I would like, you know, actively feel like, you know, just, oh man, I feel like watching Showgirls today. I guess unless I was like particularly horny that day or something.
I love it. I love it.
All right, a 3 from Brooks. For me, I rather enjoyed watching this movie. And one of the things that I thought as soon as I got done watching it was, I would own this on Blu-ray. I feel like I should buy, like, I'd like to find this on Blu-ray, because right now the only place I could find it was Tubi, right? To like just stream. And so like, I was like, you know, take out the commercials. Maybe it's an even more tight experience or something, but I had fun, and I could see myself like watching this every couple years or something like that. Like going, maybe one day we could do a Paul Verhoeven fest or something like that, right? We could do it again. But I don't know. I like the movie. It does have its flaws. It's got some major flaws. It's not as great as some of his other films. Why am I comparing this film to RoboCop, right? It's a different film trying to do a different thing, but I love the comparison that somebody made to Casino. Who was the one that said that?
Oh man,
That's Brooks.
That was it's not Casino, you know, but it's also doing it on a different level, and very specifically about Showgirls. But it is kind of trying to do that same thing a little bit. So I don't know. I really do like this film. So I will give it 3.69 is what I'll give it. And I think that this might become one of my favorite films. You know, fuck it. I'm giving it a 4. I actually do like this movie a lot.
Yeah.
I'm giving this movie a 4, and I will buy this on Blu-ray, and I will watch it again. And it will be one of those movies like, have you ever seen, like when people go Showgirls, that shitty movie, I'd be like, when's the last time you watched it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Maybe
Or
watch
you
it
might
again.
catch it on the low, like it just comes on and you're like, damn, I forgot how much I like this movie.
Yeah. So I'll go 4. So a 4 from me and Jelani and Fable, and a 3 from Brooks. We're going to give that for an average of PCP average of 3.69, dudes. Showgirls, very interesting movie to talk about. Our April Fools, well, that was the April Fool's joke. We thought we would hate all 4 of these movies, but we actually enjoyed, for the most part, half of it. I mean, everybody has differing opinions on Fateful Findings, but I do think that was an enjoyable experience. But Flintstones and Show are my big surprises this month, man. I was like, damn, I really liked both of those films, and they are very similar, Fable. That's interesting. So we are now officially about to kick off Cruise Choice here on the channel. You know, last year we did the funny bit where it was all Tom Cruise movies. This year we're doing a half a bit. We're giving half of the crew an actual pick in June. And we're giving me, Brooks, and Jelani, and John a pick in May that has to be part of a theme. That theme is anime. So it's anime. So it's all anime films that we're going to be talking about. And next week we kick it off with my pick, because it's the PCP movie night of Robbie week. So everybody, we're going to celebrate Robbie week with my favorite animated film, Akira. Next week, here on PCP movie night, Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Very excited for that movie. Very excited to have that discussion. Jelani, thank you so much for being here. Tell us what you're up to. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, man. This is a good discussion. I didn't know I wax intellectual about freaking Showgirls, but I mean, it's got tits in it, so I mean, you know me. So it worked out well. Chill out. If you picked this movie, then thank you, bro, for picking it, because this was a good deal altogether. And of course, you know, Brooks and I do this thing called Go Figure Reviews. I don't know if I sent you the thing, Robbie, so it's okay. But
I didn't get anything. I'm sorry, brother.
That's all good. We did a good video on the CT Toys Helverine figure. It's basically the weapon or the Legion of I forgot the name of the other one. But we do a versus video with the Marvel Legends version of the Weapon of Vengeance. That's what it is. Weapon of Vengeance.
Oh, nice. Okay, I gotta check that out.
So check it out. We really, really appreciate the views we get on stuff and all these things. We did it also with Nate, Huggy Bear from Huggy Bear's Toy Store. He is doing a video with me for the Headless Horseman from Four Horsemen. It's a nice figure. I got some problems with it, but yeah, we're gonna keep doing videos every week. So check out for us, and hopefully we'll be able to do another live stream soon. I don't know. Feels like it's been ages. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, check us out. Go Figure Reviews.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Jelani. Fable, thank you for being here to talk about Showgirls and really helping dissect it. It's all about horrors. Horrors and other horrors being horrors with horrors.
We're all just horrors, but just on different levels. You know what I mean? Just
Well, why don't you whore yourself out real quick? Tell us what's going on with you and any final.
Well, first of all, thank you for letting me jump on this one because Paul Verhoeven is one of my favorite directors. You know, a lot of people talk about their favorite directors. Paul is one of mine, and I felt like this movie was a little underrated, not overrated or anything like that. If you hate it, I'm not going to argue with you, but I think it's a little underrated. Because this is the movie where he decided to, because when he made RoboCop and Total Recall and all those movies, all they were interested in that was to make sequels, right? And to make toys out of the things, right? Like, and he was actually trying to like make poignant thematical movies that said a message, and all Hollywood got was like, we need another RoboCop because
Merchandising.
that gun shit he does is awesome. And we're even gonna make a cartoon for kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those toys were badass though. You can take the helmet off, man.
Yeah. And he fled Hollywood shortly after these movies. But anyway, so thank you for letting me wax poetic a little bit about Paul Verhoeven. And of course, I got Blame Fable, the all different Blame Fable show coming out Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, with all these fine gentlemen you see down here, where we talk about the latest in pop culture news and topics. This week, we're going to have my brother Conlon Comics on to join us, so that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, man, thanks for all the support. You guys are man, I went from 390 something to 400, almost 450 in like 2 or 3 weeks. It's crazy.
You blowing up.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you much deserved, brother. What about you, Brooks? Any final thoughts, man? What's going on with you, man?
Oh, yeah, just like it's weird. Like, I've probably had more fun watching these and talking about these bad movies this month than I have in a while, actually. Like, it feels like a challenge in a way, Like,
you ain't lying.
It's easy to critique a masterpiece, but to critique like, these like weird, bizarre, bad movies. And like I don't think they're really that bad. I'd call these like bad movies. Like I've seen way worse movies than any of these movies we've seen, even Fateful Findings.
What about Double Dragon though, man?
Double Dragon, it wasn't that bad, I don't think. Like,
what do you think?
Worst? It was the worst out of this lineup, but I don't think it was like, bad. But yeah, like, it's should be interesting to see what next April holds.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know.
I think we should do it again. So yeah.
I just wanted to know what Brooks thought was worse than Fateful Findings. I'm so curious.
Hostel 2.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, man. That movie's goddamn brilliant. 5 you digs. 5 you digs. Don't pick on me. I'll fucking put it on Horror Fest just to fucking spite you, man.
Yeah, I know.
We won't even do the first one. We'll just do the second one. Be like, we'll never do the first one.
That is not the answer I expected, but absolutely the best answer you could have gave.
That is a heel move. Yes.
All right, y'all. We're going to be talking about anime films over the next month. Join us next week as we talk about Akira. I really love this movie. Love the comic book series even more. But the movie is pretty freaking dope. That's going to be a great conversation. We are dipping out. Thank you so much. Station, pop, pop, boom. And I guess I should do something heelish. I don't know. What we got? What's a good... Jelani, do the heel thing for me. I can't...
Show me your tits!